The last video I filmed on my old camera was a review of these three, the Jetpack Trooper, Thrawn, and Dedra Meero. And the video crapped out. My camera crapped out. I honestly don't know if it was the camera or the memory card or whatever, but at that point I was like, you know what, I'm so done. I'm done with the glitches. I'm done with, all the issues with my old camera, and I upgraded to this new one that I've been using for the past couple months, and I love it. However, that means I've got some catching up to do. Not only do I have to re-review these figures, but I also decided to make this like a mega catch-up video with all the TVC stuff that I have also gotten since that I have yet to discuss. So we're going to be reviewing 7 TVC figures in this video. We got Jedi Legend Obi-Wan, we got Baylan Skoll, we got Shin Hati. Calm down, guys. We also have the Imperial Snowtrooper, which is actually very exciting. And, of course, we've got Dedra, I honestly don't remember, Thrawn, and the Jet Trooper. So I guess we're going to go ahead and start with these 3 that I've already opened up, because they're already opened up. The Trooper's card is really nice. I really enjoy, like, the dark red color. Cool image of the Trooper himself. I've not played Jedi Survivor yet. I got it at GameStop. Whoa! Yeah. Pretty cool. Nice little bio. Still not the biggest fan of this style of card back. I honestly miss the different version that they had. But yeah, pretty cool. This Jet Trooper looks very nice. It definitely doesn't compete with the Sky Trooper from Star Wars Star Wars Star Tours. I really want Detours to come out. So weird. But it's not that cool, but it's still pretty cool. Like, I like the design here. I like the slightly modified helmet. It's got the little breather. That's pretty decent paint, a little bit of gray. When it comes to the mold itself, this is that Stormtrooper we've come to know. I'm not even going to worry about articulating it too much. Still uses the ball hinged hips, unfortunately. But overall, like, it still moves good. Still definitely does the part. Yeah. I like it. It's just a mold I've talked about so often. I really don't have too much else to add. That's why I'm doing all these figures at once. There's some of them that really aren't going to take that much time to talk about. You can remove the backpack if you want. I don't know if they would reuse this for like maybe a Sand Trooper, because I know they are making that Sand Trooper in that multi-pack that I am not sure if I'm going to get. But yeah, it's a cool looking Stormtrooper variant, I guess. That's literally all I have to say. I'm not even joking. Dedra's card is very nice. I like the color. I like the image. Again, it's just me not knowing all this stuff. I've not watched Andor Season 2 yet. I've seen the first episode, but I haven't watched all the rest. You can see a little bit of a bio right there. She's methodical, polished, and ambitious. Ooh. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, let's talk about Dedra. She looks great. The likeness is very, very nice to the actress. And again, we see those legs return. I'm pretty sure those are the exact same legs between Dedra and Thrawn. And I'm sorry if it's Dedra. I honestly don't remember. Like I said, I haven't really watched Season 2 yet. She's a really cool character, though. She's definitely become one of my more favorite Imperial officer characters. And yeah, she's definitely looking cool as this figure here. You can see her rank badge, her little... what are those little cylinders? Aren't those like data cylinders? Like little data whatever things, like passkeys. I don't remember. I think they demonstrated what they were in Rebels pretty well, but I just don't remember. Yeah, she's a pretty cool figure. Her articulation for her new elements, her torso moves pretty good. Her arms are pretty standard. She just has swivels at the wrist because she's got dainty little girly hands. And her head is on a dumbbell joint. Yeah, she's a pretty cool one. Definitely happy with growing the Imperial officer ranks. Interestingly, her white is a little different than Thrawn's. Thrawn has a more like yellowy white than her. Maybe because Thrawn's suit's older, He's probably taken a lot of time to try to make it look neat. In the show, it's got little, tears here and there. This figure doesn't have those, unfortunately. But yeah, they look cool together as a couple little Imperial officer characters for your collection. Grand Admiral Thrawn. I love the color of red. It matches his eyes. Very nice image. Oh, dude. Lars Mikkelsen was the perfect casting for Thrawn. Absolutely perfect. He killed it. Yeah, and this figure is also very nice. Thrawn is a very cool looking one. That likeness to Lars, once again, is incredible. Such an awesome portrayal of the character. This is my main display Thrawn. Like, I've got the other Vintage Collection one, I've got the Old Legacy one, I've got the Rebels one. I never got that, like, Power of the Force era one, but I have most of the Thrawn figures that have come out, and this one is by far my favorite. It's so nice. He does have the little pistol. You know, you can go ahead and arm him up with a little pistol if you want. Slots in very nice. Yeah, it uses the standard, like, Imperial officer body we have seen so often recently. They are really trying to get their money's worth out of this body. This isn't even the last time we're going to see these parts in this video. The articulation is pretty standard for, you know, this kind of Vintage Collection figure. It moves pretty well. Really like the ball joint at the waist on this one. Yeah, and even the legs move pretty well. Knees, ankles, yeah, the articulation's definitely there. Probably my favorite thing about this is that head sculpt and the intricacy of the paint application on the shirt. Like, it's very nice looking. Overall, this Thrawn is definitely a winner. Moving on to the Snowtrooper, first taking a look at the card back. It's interesting that they called it the Snowtrooper. Wasn't the vintage figure called the Imperial Stormtrooper Hoth battle gear? I don't know. Either way, I actually bought two of this guy because I don't have a TVC style carded Snowtrooper yet, and I figured, hey, this one would be pretty nice. In the package, the figure looks incredible, and we can see, yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. I'm digging it. Let's keep the Imperial conversation going by opening our Snowtrooper here. I'm only going to open one of these on camera, but I just want to show once again how I open these Vintage Collection cards because so many people ask. I take a X-Acto knife, and I puncture the side right there, and I just slice it clear and flat. Just make sure it's a nice clean cut. And then I want to meet it down here. Right there. Because this is empty right there. And then I will turn it around. It's so much easier to do not in front of a camera. But then I'll just slowly pinch it around the corner. I'll bring it down on the top. Being careful to make sure that the tip of the knife does not chip into the card. While also making sure at the same time that, like, this part of the handle does not, like, make a mark onto the card. Find my cut again. And yeah, pretty clean, pretty nice. I've done this many times, so some people may say, oh, you're cutting towards yourself. Yeah, I have done this so many times. And also with X-Acto knives, to get that precision you're really looking for, you do want to cut towards yourself. So I advise some heavy caution when opening TVC figures like this, but the reward is very worth it. You have a pristine card back. All right, this might be one of the figures I spend the most time on in this video because it's a new Snowtrooper. Like, oh my gosh, we finally have a new Snowtrooper mold after how many years? I think nearly 20 years. I think the original Snowtrooper, the one that we've been using in our collections for so long, came out in 06, maybe? Might have been even sooner than that. Might have been like 05? I don't remember. I have one to compare for this video, so we will take a look. But my first impression of this Snowtrooper is pretty positive. He's got the floaty shoulder pads like Black Series figures do. That's actually crazy. He's got Black Series level shoulder pads. Wonder how much his helmet moves. His helmet actually moves pretty decently. You can see it's actually on a dumbbell joint up there. Looking at the bells, like, it's so odd seeing all the hexagonal shapes. It really looks like something that was like a rendered on, you know, like a sculpting program. I mean, all these figures are sculpted digitally now, so it only makes sense. The backpack looks really great, has a lot of nice detail. I really like that striping right there, too. The boots are so nice and weathered. That's really catching my eye right now. It's got some really nice weathering on those boots. I love the soft goods right here. Yeah, this is a winner. They already are in that Imperial multi-pack, making this into a Snowtrooper Commander, if you want that. Which is interesting, because they already made a new Snowtrooper Commander mold back in Black Series. But this is an all-new Snowtrooper, dude. All new. Yeah, this is nice. I definitely... We have a new King of the Snowtroopers on our hands for sure. This is by far the best Snowtrooper figure. Like, posing this thing around, he's got hinges in and out at the wrist as well. Does he have up and down on this one? Yeah, he's got up and down right there. Oh, dude, it's so nice. Such a nice Snowtrooper. Go ahead and have him hold the gun. He's ready to accidentally walk up on a door that has a Wampa in there. Oh man, I'm a big Snowtrooper fan. Frustratingly enough, I'm collecting all the different Imperial Stormtrooper types, or at least my favorites, in Hot Toys style. And I do not have a Hot Toys Snowtrooper yet. I'm really hoping they re-release one. But I'm happy to have this. This is definitely a winner. And I think we do have to bring in that old style Snowtrooper. I have probably like 20 of this figure. I have so many of this Snowtrooper. You can see like it still looks really nice. It has more gray than like the beige tan here. Definitely has a lot more paint on this old one, that is for sure. But like the detail on the backpack is way better on the new one. Like the level of detail has definitely increased in that department. The boots, I love the weathering on the boots on the new one. The old one, I think this might be like one of those multi-pack versions because it has like the weird like tan, it almost looks like Tauntaun diarrhea on his boots. It's just not very good looking. Yeah, he has very basic articulation for the time, like swivels at the hips. Still has like ball hinges at the knees. Looks like this copy might actually be yellowing just a tiny bit. But yeah, you know, he's still got decent articulation. He has a clone trooper face on underneath, which is very peculiar to me. I wonder. Oh yeah, that's funny. you can almost just give the Snowtrooper a second helmet. That is actually kind of funny. I'm noticing the new one is struggling to hold the E11 just a little bit. I don't know why. He's just kind of like this hand. It doesn't seem to have as good of a grip on it as you would expect. But I definitely 100% prefer and would recommend the new one over the old one. I guess this was like a little Storm Central old versus new action. I'm noticing a little bit of detail right there that this one doesn't have. But yeah, I definitely have to recommend the new one. Like if you want to build a Snowtrooper army in 2025, I would go with this new one. I would just be army building this. Even though I will definitely keep all of my versions of this guy whenever I make that Hoth diorama. But perhaps the Snowtroopers right by Darth Vader will end up being the new TVC one. Alrighty, here's Shin. Kind of disappointingly, the Vintage Collection figures don't have the robes. I'm really wondering if they're going to pull a Black Series on us and like release versions with the robes later on. That would be annoying. But I really do like the card back on Shin right here. Very nice. It's a cool looking figure for sure. And looking at that lightsaber, it definitely looks more on the orange side to me, which is a relief. I was worried they would look way too red. Alright, let's start taking a look at these Ahsoka characters with Shin Hati. And I really love the design of Shin Hati and Baylan Skoll. I definitely prefer Baylan Skoll, especially figure-wise, like first impression, just with how big and bulky he is. But for all I know, this Shin Hati may be very dynamic. One thing I gotta say, I love how these lightsabers turned out. Look at the white and everything and all the detail. The gunmetal paint looks gorgeous, and this orange blade looks so cool. You do also have a plain hilt as well, and the hilt looks like it can just plug in right there. And yeah, that looks really cool. That looks great. Oh, her shoulder pads are very soft. Very floaty. Yeah, my first impressions, this seems like a pretty standard run-of-the-mill TVC, like, female figure. She's got, like, the swivels at the wrists instead of hinges. She doesn't have too much of, like, a torso ball joint, unfortunately. But she does have the ball joints at the legs, thigh swivel. Looks like the knees bend pretty well. How about her ankles? Her ankles, pretty standard. Yeah, her articulation is pretty standard. There's nothing like exceptionally dynamic going on here, it seems. She does have a nice elbow bend, though. That's cool. Yeah, it seems like her shoulder pads are like Black Series styled, or they're separate parts. I definitely think that is the way to go with shoulder pads moving forward. I think they've finally cracked the code on making some solid shoulder pads. The likeness to the actress is pretty great. I'm definitely seeing it. How well does she hold the saber? Yeah, she holds that pretty well. Yeah, I don't think there's anything like too extraordinary going on with this figure. The likeness, like I said, is definitely very nice. You can even see like her little moles on her face. Like that is pretty impressive. I genuinely think like at this scale, you cannot get better likenesses than what Hasbro does. Like I think it's impossible. I think they've pretty much nailed it at this point. Yeah, the costume looks nice. I like all the detail on it. It's a cool one. I definitely think she's more of the accessory piece to Baylan, though. Like, you gotta have Shin if you've got Baylan, and I definitely wanted Baylan. She's still a cool-looking figure, though. I think she'll look nice dueling my Sabine or whatever, whenever I make a diorama for Ahsoka. Baylan Skoll. I think out of all these figures today, this one might be the coolest looking one. Baylan's an awesome character, and this figure looks like it's done him justice. Awesome looking figure. I actually really like how the cards complement each other on Shin and Baylan. I actually really enjoy that. Yeah, this is nice. This is a good one. I can't wait to get this opened. All right, Baylan Skoll. Let's take a look at him. Oh, such a cool character. I'm happy that the character will continue, even though the actor has passed on. It's very awesome to have this figure to commemorate his legacy. Because I remember him from Ray Stevenson. Actually, this isn't even my first Ray Stevenson figure. I have the Retaliation Firefly, because he was in G.I. Joe Retaliation. I also remember him in Dexter. Those were the places I remember seeing him the most. But his portrayal as Baylan Skoll was super cool. His lightsaber looks really nice. I like it almost has a cross guard, but it really doesn't. Looks like his saber plugs in right here. I'm really hoping they don't make like a different version with the cloak. That would just bug me because I've already bought these ones. His orange lightsaber is also looking super nice. That looks very, very cool. And the figure itself, like this knight armor, dude, like, I don't know, Shin Hati's was cool because she, has like some silver and everything, but his is like worn down. Like, look at that shoulder pad right there. And then like the boots, he's got big old boots. Yeah, this is really cool. I like the shading on the torso as well. That looks really nice. And the likeness to Ray Stevenson is, dude, that's him. That's him. That's shocking. Oh, dude, this is one of the best likenesses by far. Like, that is him. That is definitely him, 100%. Oh my gosh. And I can say, because this figure is just like so big and beefy, like, he feels really nice. For his articulation, looks like he's got a ball joint at the head. Really nice ball joint at the waist. Like, that is so, so good. He has the same kind of ball joints at the shoulders with the floaty shoulder pad. Nice elbows up and down for both of the wrists. And then lifting his skirt up a little bit, we can see he has ball joints back there. Thigh swivel. I think the thigh swivel and the knee is pretty irrelevant because the knee swivel functions the exact same. And the ankles move up and down and pivot a little bit. So yeah, his articulation is incredible. We got to get him holding the lightsaber, dude. I mean, come on. It's Baylan Skoll. He's got to have his lightsaber. Yeah, this... I think my prediction was correct because I filmed the card back portion before I opened any of these. I think Baylan's my favorite out of all these figures. Baylan's got to be. Now, one thing I have to do is bring in Shin and see a size comparison because the Black Series versions of these characters are notorious for being out of scale with each other. And thank God they fixed it with the TVC. Those actually scale really well together. Like, dude, it was ridiculous for the Black Series one. Wasn't Shin like the same height? Like, that is not correct. Ray Stevenson's huge. And Shin Hati's just a standard, or Hati. I know a lot of people joke that she's a hottie. Oh, gosh. Yeah, these look incredible together. This Baylan, dude. Oh, my gosh. You might see this on my top figures of 2025. I think this might be my favorite TVC figure of the year so far. And finally, last and maybe least, I don't know, we'll find out, Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Legend. I didn't need this one. I actually ordered this just to get free shipping on a Transformers thing on Hasbro Pulse. I figured I'd be better off getting this than having to pay for shipping. But honestly, it's kind of cool because it's his Star Wars mythos design for the most part. Like, he's got that mythos design. Yeah, that is nice. Again, I don't know why they didn't, like, make him more gray. Like, even in the show, like, I feel like his hair should have been way more gray. Because you got to think in, like, 10 years, he's going to look like Alec Guinness. Like, dang. Ewan McGregor just aged too gracefully. That's the problem. He aged way too gracefully for it to be a convincing Obi-Wan 10 years later. That's our problem. And last but maybe least, I don't know, we have our Obi-Wan Kenobi show, definitely not Mythos Obi-Wan. Technically, he's called a Jedi Legend, which is neat. And yeah, this figure seems okay. The likeness, I would say, is probably the worst out of all these. I'm really not seeing Ewan McGregor there too much. His articulation seems pretty on par. He actually has really nice elbows, though. Like, his elbows bend in pretty good, everything considering. I don't know how many parts are reused between this and the other Kenobi Obi-Wans. I think this is our third we've seen in TV. No, fourth, maybe. Yeah, we've seen 4 different Obi-Wans from the Kenobi show in Vintage Collection. Because we've got like the first episode one, we have the blue outfit, we have the final duel one, and now we've got Jedi Legend from the end when he sees Qui-Gon's ghost. By the way, I'm really hoping we see a Qui-Gon ghost figure. I'm really hoping. Actually, before I even get these goggles over his neck, I wonder if you can put him around his face at all. Oh yeah, you can! Hey, that's actually kind of cool. I actually kind of like the look of that with the goggles over him. I kind of dig that. But that's not where they're supposed to go. They're supposed to go around his neck. And this version of Obi-Wan actually did not duel at all. At this point, he's just chilling on Tatooine. So we are not going to give him his ignited lightsaber. Instead, we just need to find the actual lightsaber hilt and find where it plugs in. Looks like it'll plug in right there. And there we go. So he does have these robes, which I can tell the stitching on them's a bit weird. Like, they're very puffy. I feel like they probably should have made these like half the size that they are. Because they're supposed to like drape, right? But it's just so small. Like, it's just not gonna drape. So you're kind of just left with a very puffy looking Obi-Wan in comparison to how he should look. He doesn't have a hood or anything. But yeah, how does he look without it? He's our only figure here today with like removable soft goods. Yeah, he looks okay without it. He looks okay. Actually looks very Attack of the Clones, if you ask me. Is it just me, or do his arms look a little too long? I don't know. He still has the same like really short knees that all the other Obi-Wans had. So maybe that's why. Because I mean, looking at where his knee joint is in comparison to like Thrawn, you can see like his knee is so much shorter for some reason. I think it's just like the sculpt with the boot. That's just how they did it. But yeah, just like how my prediction with Baylan was correct, that Baylan was my favorite, I think my prediction was correct that Obi-Wan would be the least interesting. Like I said, I wasn't even originally going to get this guy. I literally just got him just to get free shipping on an order. I don't even remember what other figures I ordered. But yeah, this was a free shipping bait kind of figure. And yep, there we go. Alrighty guys, here we go. Here was my vintage collection catch-up. Definitely needed to do this. This was long overdue. I needed to re-review those Imperial figures that unfortunately the original footage crapped out. And I had several new figures to talk about. A new Snowtrooper, Shin and Baylan, and an okay Obi-Wan. I do acknowledge I haven't reviewed every new vintage collection figure that's come out in recent years. I just don't buy them all anymore. But I do have to say, out of all these figures, the best is definitely Baylan, and the worst is definitely Obi-Wan. This Baylan, dude, it is absolutely remarkable. It is something else. The Shin is a very great addition to the collection as well, especially an Ahsoka collection. The Snowtrooper is very, very nice. Dedra, she's cool. She's cool. Thrawn is definitely the best Thrawn we've ever seen, with a very nice likeness. And the Jet Trooper is just a nice addition to your Imperial army. So with that, guys, there we go. There was my vintage collection catch-up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm very happy I did this. It's been a long time coming. That Baylan, dude. Ooh, that thing is fire. Everything else, we got some solid figures here. Some ones that are just, okay. And that Obi-Wan that take it or leave it. If you want a Mythos Obi-Wan, there you go. If not, just, I don't know, you got probably 10 other Obi-Wans in your collection by now. And with that, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know down in the comments below which one is your favorite and what TVC figures you're looking forward to. Me personally, I'm getting Asajj Ventress in the mail tomorrow, but I'm going to save her for another video because I'm personally very, very excited for that Ventress and that rest of the wave. Let's just say we'll meet back in a couple months and we'll review another like 4 or so TVC figures. Alrighty guys, thank you very much again for watching. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Have a great one guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.